Hello everyone, I'm here with the much-awaited update. For my typing's sake, I'm going to give everyone fake names, so for context. Mother-in-law and father-in-law, Ruth and Joe, ex-best friend's parents, Angie and Bob, ex-best friend Jess, soon-to-be ex-husband Tyler, ex-best friend's brother, Jake. And I'll just refer to my dad as Dad. I have a few things I want to get through, so I'll just summarize as best I can. To get this out of the way, because to me it feels important. Yesterday I scheduled a same-day appointment with my OB/GYN and got tested for just about every STD, STI out there. I got the results for most back and they were all negative. There's a few that take up to 2 weeks to get the results back, so I'll be waiting on those. When I met with my lawyer, I brought everything on my end financially, including the wills from both my dad and my mom, and I managed to get my hands on his financial documents. He stores his in his office in a locked box. I also brought over everything we had set up financially for my children. While I'm not totally sure if it's everything, I'm pretty confident I got most of it. My lawyer was happy I managed to get my hands on that much. Ruth even handed over her will to me from both her and Bob to ensure I was taken care of in the divorce. My lawyer understands I am wanting a divorce immediately. However, she wants to make sure she is thorough and isn't missing any key information. So hopefully I'll have actual divorce papers to give him in about 30 days. I'm not rushing her though. I'm letting the professional do her job. Now for the sit-down.
I asked Angie and Ruth to describe everything in detail on what happened. Angie, the revenge seeker that she is, forced them to sit through a slideshow she put together of all of the texts.
Once the slideshow ended, Tyler tried lunging for Jess, and Joe actually had to force him to sit down. Tyler was shouting profanities at Jess and telling her she would regret this.
Jess started crying and begging her parents for forgiveness.
Bob looked his daughter in the eye and told her he will never forgive her for this. Blood or not, she is no daughter of his. He didn't raise his daughter to be this person. Jess was always a daddy's girl, so I think that cut her pretty deep. Jess is in the middle of a divorce herself, and her parents were giving her money for her lawyer, and they told her she's cut off from them, both financially and physically.
Tyler's dad was irate. According to Ruth, he looked like he was holding back on throttling him. Tyler came home and saw that most of my and the kids' stuff was gone, and he lost it. Started yelling and throwing things. The house is now trashed, with a few holes in the walls for decoration.
I know because we have a Ring doorbell camera along with a few cameras in the house for our kids to keep an eye on them when we aren't right next to them.
When he didn't find us there, he went to my dad's. While I did spend most of the day at work packing and moving things into my dad's house, we were already at his cabin. Tyler took a baseball bat to my dad's door, trying and failing to break it down. My dad's neighbor actually called the cops on him and he was arrested. His parents refused to bail him out. I had an appointment with my therapist today. I've had one for a year now since I was struggling with my dad, and it felt good to just cry it out and let everything out about how I was feeling. It was very helpful, and she gave me a few tools to work through my emotions with this one. I felt very grounded and empowered leaving my session today. I'm also planning on setting up my children with a therapist when we get back from the cabin to figure out the best way to deal with telling them. I know people said I shouldn't, but I will be telling them, just in an age-appropriate way. I don't want there to be secrets and lies between us. I've always been as open and honest as I can with them. Again, in the most kid-appropriate way. Just because they're small humans, they're still humans, and they still deserve the truth. Jess started blowing up my phone, demanding I fix this situation, and immediately blaming me. My lawyer told me not to block texts just in case they spill out any additional information I was missing. She was playing the poor me card very hard. The thing is, though, I never influenced Angie and Bob to cut contact with their daughter. They made that choice on their own. She actually started blaming me for stealing the love of her life. I introduced them when Tyler and I started dating, so I am not sure where that came from. And Tyler is only with me for the kids. Honestly, I knew she was just trying to hurt me at that point. I didn't give her the satisfaction of responding, though. Between her and Tyler, I have about 200 missed calls. Tyler went from begging and pleading with me to forgive him. Like I said, I didn't have divorce papers to hand him. So he's stuck in this unknown gray area. I also asked Angie and Ruth to not say anything about the divorce to him yet, purely just for my satisfaction, honestly. I know it's slightly petty, but keeping him in that gray area of not knowing is my small revenge to him. To threatening to call the cops on me for kidnapping, telling me Jess wasn't the only one, Bingo, just what I was looking for. To telling me I'm a stuck-up bitch, to threatening me, to begging me for forgiveness. Honestly, it was just a whiplash reading those texts. I'd be lying if those texts didn't hurt me and terrify me all at once, but I refused to let them break me. As for both of them together, I don't think he's going to stay with her. I think he blames her for blowing up our marriage, honestly. Who knows, though? They deserve each other. I was initially okay with doing a 50-50 split with Tyler for custody, but after his reaction, I don't feel comfortable with that, so I'll likely be going for full custody. Just knowing I have a whole online community willing to go to bat for me has kept me treading water these last couple of days. Your comments have popped into my head when I felt like just giving up on leaving him because it's so hard, and you gave me so many great points and helpful advice. I know I deserve more and I can't accept his actions. And to the people who commented relating to my situation, my heart goes out to you all. This pain is awful and I hate that so many of you can relate, but your stories have resonated deep within me. You all keep commending me for my strength, and my personal favorite is telling me how proud of me you are. Every time I see those words, I start to tear up. I'm blaming the pregnancy hormones. But your words have helped put me at ease, so that way I could do what I knew I needed to do. So I'll leave this here for now. If anything of importance happens when I go back home, I'll update further. Thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. S5, thank you again. Seriously, your comments, your support, your messages, all of it has been one giant breath of fresh air.